how important it is from our side to strengthen our cooperation with the United States, but that doesn't mean that we want to be owned by the United States.
Hi guys!
Welcome back again to Star React. Today we are going to be checking out Germany, Sweden, France and Norway confirmed sending military personnel to Greenland. And this is from DW News. Let's get right into the video, my love.
Wow.
This is DW News. Welcome to the show. I'm Nicole Fröhlich. Germany has announced it will send troops to Greenland for the first time, along with other European countries. It's part of measures to boost defense on the Arctic island, as U.S. President Donald Trump insists the Danish territory is essential for U.S. national security. The announcement came after Denmark's and Greenland's foreign ministers held inconclusive talks in Washington with U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio. The Danish foreign minister, Lars Løkke Rasmussen, said the two sides had agreed to create a working group to discuss ways to address American security concerns while also respecting Denmark's red line.
But why do Trump feel like it is American security that should be on Greenland when Greenland is not even part of their region?
Sorry, there's something I want to confirm. Right? Is Greenland a country on its own, or is Greenland
a country?
A country. Okay, it's an autonomous territory and a self-governing country with the Kingdom of Denmark. Wait, okay, Greenland belongs to Denmark.
Obviously, no.
Why the part of North America currently and politically associated with Europe? Is that okay?
Geographically part.
So which means it is a country, if I'm not mistaken. Because
so why do they want to gain territory there? Like it already have a overseer.
Yeah.
There.
I actually thought before it was like a no man's
because even if
land.
there's anybody trying to gain security, it should be one of the European countries, not
which is Denmark.
Yeah, not it's too far from.
And then I think the only way to actually make a play for this is if the Denmark people say, okay, we want to sell this place.
But they are saying they do not want to, but Trump is saying you must. It's crazy.
Oh my God.
Nice. Here's some more of what he told reporters after the meeting.
We had what I will describe as a frank but also constructive discussion. The discussions focused on how to ensure the long-term security in Greenland. And here our perspectives continue to differ, I must say. The President has made his view clear, and we have a different position. And we therefore still have a fundamental disagreement, but we also agree to disagree. And therefore we will, however, continue to talk.
Well, Greenland's foreign minister, Vivian Motzfeldt, doubled down and said her government simply cannot accept a U.S. takeover.
I think it's very important to say it again, that how important it is from our side to strengthen our cooperation with the United States, but that doesn't mean that we want to be owned by the United States, but as allies, how we can strengthen our cooperation, it's all our interest.
DW correspondent Janelle Dumoulin following events from Washington there for us. Janelle, we just heard from both the foreign ministers of Denmark and Greenland. What stood out to you at this press conference?
Both the foreign ministers mentioned those frank and constructive discussions, and we know what that means. Frank and constructive is diplomatic speak for we did not see eye to eye and we did not resolve our conflict. But of course, that is a sentiment that they repeated again and again in plain English throughout that press conference. The Danish foreign minister saying that they did not succeed in getting the U.S. to change its ambitions in Greenland, although he also said that was not something he expected going into the meeting.
Sorry, I'm going to pause here, but I want to get something. Why do they want to change Trump's ambition in getting Greenland when Greenland is a country, which means there is sovereignty over the country? Make it make sense for me. It's just like
I feel like they are treading cautiously because they still want to be allies with the US.
No, I get.
They're nothing.
I get being allies, but then again, At the same time, for me, this is where I talk about some. I don't know whether Denmark is a small country though, but this is where I talk about standing your ground. Do you understand? For me, this is where you don't, like, when somebody tells you, I'm coming for your stuff, you don't try to appease the person. You stand your ground and be like, this is mine, you don't take it. This is just my own 2 cents about it. Like, I'm not trying to increase the tension between the whole thing, but I'm just saying, like, this is my own opinion. Like, somebody walks into my home, I'm like, bro, I'm taking over your parlor. But you're going out in a body bag, man. I'm sorry to say so. I'm sorry, you're just going out like that.
I think they are trying to, they do not want it to lead to that point.
But how close is the US to Greenland?
Is in, I think, the northern part of it.
Okay, that means it's very close.
Northern, yes.
Okay.
It's geographically.
Because I think one of the interviews I watched that Trump did, he was talking about the fact that he needs to secure Greenland for security reasons, so that people like Russia, China does not use it to create a avenue to enter. So my question is this: does Greenland have what we call relations or military relations with Russia and China? I think that is the very fundamental key thing we should be asking. And if they don't, I don't think
there's a problem there.
There's a problem.
The first place, but that they did agree that it would be sensible to try and sit down together on a high level to see if there are possibilities for a way forward to accommodate the concerns of the president. Now, for her part, the foreign minister of Greenland said that she had made it clear what the limits are for Greenland and for Denmark, and those limits, of course, involve respecting the territorial integrity of both Denmark and Greenland. Now, they also reiterated their position that if the U.S. has security concerns, then that could be addressed within the existing framework. Specifically, They referred to that 1951 agreement that confirms that the U.S. has the right to establish defense areas in Greenland. They said if the U.S.
Well, I think
there's a breach of agreement now. Okay.
Because there's an agreement that they can actually establish a line of defense in Greenland. So I think now I know where this whole thing is stemming off from. So, well,
want more of a presence in Greenland because of security concerns. So that is something that they can always bring to Denmark, and Denmark would review those requests. In any case, they are happy to cooperate on matters of Arctic security. The foreign minister of Greenland, Foreign Minister Motzfeldt, saying again, it's never been so important to stress we're allies and friends with a shared history, so it's in all our interest to find a balance here.
Yeah.
Finding a balance was the goal of today's meeting, but I think even saying agreeing to disagree is an understatement. President Trump still says the U.S. needs to get Greenland one way or another. So after what we've seen today, but also what President Trump has been publishing on social media in the run-up to this meeting, how much room really is there left for diplomacy at this point?
You know, there was another line in the presser that stood out to me. I wrote it down. And it was when Foreign Minister Rasmussen said, it's not easy to think innovatively about solutions when you wake up in the morning to different threats. And I think that really does encapsulate the diplomatic challenge that they're facing here. Washington is just a very different kind of interlocutor than it once was. And I guess that is also the reason why Minister Rasmussen wanted to appeal to the long shared history between the U.S. and Denmark, a 225 history. He reiterated again. He also mentioned the war in Afghanistan, saying that in support of America, the Danes saw as many casualties as America did. So although the meeting did not move the needle in terms of getting the U.S. to abandon its bid for Greenland, they really did kind of focus in on the creation of this high-level working group that is trying to find a way forward. That high-level working group is set to meet for the first time in a few weeks, he said. So at least on the side of Greenland and Denmark, the hopes for diplomacy are not completely dead just yet.
DW correspondent Janelle Dumoulin in Washington, D.C. Thanks, Janelle. Let's keep talking about this crisis in the Arctic and bring in DW's political correspondent Simon Young here in Berlin. Simon, Germany is now sending its first troops to Greenland. What exactly What's the reasoning? Why exactly are they going there?
Yeah, Nicole, the Defence Ministry here in Berlin has released a statement this evening saying that Germany will be participating in a reconnaissance mission in Greenland, as it's termed, lasting from the 15th to the 17th of January, and that 13 Bundeswehr personnel are set to fly to the Greenland capital Nuuk on Thursday morning. And this is happening at the invitation of Denmark and in consultation with other European partners. The purpose of the mission, they say, is to explore ways to support Denmark in ensuring security in the region. And they mentioned specifically as an example of what they could be doing, maritime surveillance. So that's what this is about. Now, this comes amid signs that the German government is not against a military role for Germany in Greenland. The Defence Minister Boris Pistorius has been saying in recent days that he thinks that NATO, presumably including Germany, should defend Greenland against potential attacks from Russia and China. And he emphasises, as he's talked about this several times, that that should happen with the United States, presumably, rather than...
Sorry, there's a quote I just remembered, right? What was the quote? I don't know if many of you have watched Marvel, like, I think, Endgame. I can't remember which of them. I think either Endgame or... But one of the Marvels, right? Where Tony, in preparation to prevent future war, he created Ultron, right? And I think that is what is about to happen here. It might come from a good place. It might come from a place of, oh, I want to secure my country. But it is triggering something that cannot be foretold. The same weapon or the same Ultron that was created to defend humanity became its greatest enemy. In the quest to take Greenland, it might trigger a World War III.
Yeah.
So I get that, because if you watch that movie, you know that Tony was doing it from a place of love and protection and to safeguard the human race. And I get sometimes good intention can always bring bad results.
Yeah.
So I don't think all these hits is necessary, because we are very close to triggering
A whole lot of
things. And by the time it starts, I can tell you for certain, every single world war, remember when World War I started, there were little to no advanced weapons that time, yet millions died. When World War II happened, there was advancement. You could see the increase. Now, if World War III is to escalate, it is beyond human counting, because we have advanced way more than we were back then. So I believe we should, I think I get them trying to de-escalate the whole situation.
Yeah.
And I think, please, President Trump, please take a step back.
Even if
not for everything, even if not for anything, I get that you are trying to secure your borders, you're trying to make sure America is safe, but let us not in the process trigger World War III. This is an honest plea, and my 2 cents about this. I'm sorry for the pause.
Against them, but at the moment that, of course, is the big question.
The debate over Greenland's future has further strained transatlantic relations in the past year. How bad is that relationship right now, and how could it be salvaged?
Well, I think you've got to say the relationship is strained right now. You can get a sense of that from a speech that was made by Lars Klingbeil, who's the Vice-Chancellor, the Deputy to Chancellor Merz. He's also the Finance Minister. He was speaking on Wednesday. He said the transatlantic relationship as we've known it is currently disintegrating, and he cited the capture of Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela, which he said was a violation of the principles of international law. But he also mentioned these threats against Greenland from Donald Trump and the administration's comments in the national security strategy that it published recently that Europe was facing civilizational erasure. So he says that Europe's got to stand up for the rules-based order. It's really strong language. Of course, close contacts with Washington, between Washington and Berlin, continue. The Foreign Minister, Johann Wadephul, was in Washington meeting members of Congress just on Tuesday. But of course, the whole context and the fact that Donald Trump has got his fingers in so many pies, as it were, that does make everything a lot more difficult right now.
Simon Young, DW's political correspondent. Thanks, Simon.
Well, I think this video is very self-explanatory in every single word and every single aspect. And, I've literally said everything I think I want to say concerning this matter. I understand in terms of security, there is, that I don't want to mention a country right now, but there is this country that is very close to us that is causing a big security, problem for us, because there is so much import of terrorists, bandits, and everything. And I would literally support that, that something should be done about it. But as much as we're doing something about it, we should, now that country, if my country decides to do something about it, I would understand. But now going to another neighbor because of the fear we have from this country and say, because of that, we need to make sure we take over this country to avoid the same thing happening. Does not make sense. It's being proactive, but at the same time, you might trigger what is way worse
than the
security threat.
I just feel like we should learn from World War One.
Yeah, because it all started with terror.
Yeah, it's issues like this that bring those wars, and we don't want to experience those things ourselves. Although they say we read through history to learn, but these days it feels like we'll read through history, repeat the mistake, and
all history books these days are sitting on a pile of dust. Nobody wants to read it anymore, and then we end up repeating it.
I'll see you guys on our next one. Do not hesitate to like, subscribe, share your thoughts down there as well. Bye guys.